I give the floor to Pedro Silva Pereira for the S&D Group.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, President Lagarde. You're very much welcome here. Let me begin by expressing my political support and the support of my political group to the current ECB's approach to monetary policy. As you rightly said in Lisbon and here today again, a new tightening of financing conditions when purchasing power is being squeezed is not desirable and would represent a dangerous headwind for the recovery. And as what counts is the medium-term outlook on inflation, and we are dealing with transitory factors, there's no reason, according to the ECB mandate, to abandon the current expansionary fiscal policy. And we welcome your announcement that increase in interest rates are unlikely to happen next year. Two questions, though. The first on the pandemic emergency purchase program. The ECB announced that this program would last at least until March 2022 or until the pandemic crisis is over. Now, it seems clear that the pandemic crisis is not over. As you said here today, the challenge is not over yet. We see COVID-19 figures rising. We see several European countries adopting confinement or restrictive measures again. We see supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic. So my question is, does the announcement made by the ECB remains valid? Meaning, is the ECB ready to prolong the pandemic emergency purchase program if needed, as it seems likely now? Or at least is the ECB ready as an alternative to increase the size of purchases under the normal asset purchase program? Second question on the role of the credit rating agencies. For more than 1 year, the ECB adopted a temporary framework for collateral easing, suspending, in practical terms, the reliance on the sustainability risk assessment made by the credit rating agencies. Now, my question is, are you planning to come back to the full reliance in the risk assessment made by the credit agencies, which was so disruptive in the past, or are you planning to review the collateral framework or to prolong the temporary arrangement that is now in place? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Silva Pereira. And let me first of all focus on the pandemic emergency purchase program that you referred to, and particularly its duration. So, what has been decided when we put in place and then subsequently amended the PEP, I will call it PEP because we'll know it under that name, we had decided that we would continue net purchases at least until the end of March 2022 or until the coronavirus crisis phase is over as determined by the Governing Council. And I think that particular statement stands, and it is with that statement in mind that, comes next December, we will be looking at, number one, a fresh set of numbers that will be projections that will encompass the whole of 2024, and we will look at the health and sanitary situation to assess whether this pandemic crisis phase is indeed over or not. And I think that it is on the basis of those numbers and the circumstances then that we will roll out what we plan for PEP and post-PEP. And, in a post-pandemic world, clearly we will calibrate purchases. We will announce such proposals in December, and as we have stated in our strategy review and recognized, at the lower bound, policy needs to be persistent in order to entrench the recovery and make sure that beyond the shocks that may move prices from time to time, inflation remains durably to our target. This is also the spirit in which we have designed our forward guidance, as you know. So we will articulate all that at the December 16 Governing Council meeting and on the basis of fresh data. The same principle actually will apply to our collateral framework. As you know, we have considerably eased our collateral framework in a way and made some exceptions and some CCAs in order to accept a larger pool of collaterals. That will also be looked at our December meeting to determine whether we continue, amend or otherwise change our framework going forward. Thank you.